But you do that? You still go out? Like you still go to small bars and listen to singers, or is that doesn't happen anymore?
This is a difficult question considering we had 2 years of COVID restrictions. I hope to be able to do that again. I mean, it's already starting. Um, but yeah, I like doing that. I love doing that, actually. I love doing that. There's not so many at the moment, there's not so many establishments that give room to totally unknown independent acts. That had stopped for a while here in Athens, but hopefully it will pick up again because I can see that there's, everybody is now thirsty for excitement and fun, and our business is picking up again, also in the live part of it. So hopefully, we'll be able to go to many such establishments and see new talent. That's the funnest part of the job.
Hello, everyone. My name is Neil Zaval. Welcome to another Europreneur Podcast, where I get the chance to interview some of the most amazing, interesting, cultivating discussions I get to have with amazing EO members from all around Europe. And today, finally, another guest from Greece. I don't know how many of you have been to Athens or Greece in general, but trust me, you should. And every time I go there, I get to meet some more amazing friends for life. Anna, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah.
And it's such an honor that I'm the last thing that you will, I'm the last thing you will do on your travels.
Yeah, it's been a long trip, and I'm kind of excited to go home. And I thought it's always nice. I always find that every time I finish a recording, it takes me like 24 or 48 hours that I'm still excited about the conversation and everything. And Noi, which is our project manager, said, "Let's push another one." I said, "Yeah, why not?" She's been amazing with connecting us as I'm traveling and everything. So a big shout out to her as well.
Yes.
I don't know if you know this. I ask every guest to do a simple, easy elevator pitch about anything you want, your life, family, whatever you want, and we'll take it from there. You ready?
Yes,
Go
absolutely.
for it.
So my name is Anna Maria Antippas. I have been in EO for the past 4 years. I am in the Greek chapter, as you also mentioned. I was born in Greece. I was raised in Switzerland, and I went to university in the United States. I actually only came back to Greece. It's 12 years ago now, but it was in 2010. It was in the beginning of the Greek crisis. I now am the owner and managing director of Cobalt Music. It's a Greek record company. We are the largest independent record company and the second largest overall in Greece. I'm actually the third generation of my family at the helm. It was founded by my grandfather in the 1950s. Our company then became part of the international music market as it was purchased by Philips. That became Polygram, which became Universal Music. That is when my father was involved in the business. And now it's been up to me to bring in a new strategy and a new culture since we bought the company back in 2013. We took it private again and we renamed it Cobalt Music
Why did you buy it?
in 2013.
No, no. Why? Why did you buy it back?
Oh, why? Um, well, when I came to Greece in 2010, I came back for three reasons. First of all, because I thought it would be an amazing time for opportunities. So I saw the crisis as an opportunity, perhaps for faster evolution of my career, somewhere where my skills could be, better appreciated than in other markets. And the second was that I had never lived in Greece, and I was 25 years old, and I said it's now or never. So even if it's a mistake, I still have time to go back. And the third reason was that I really wanted to go into the music business. I didn't do that immediately after university. I'm one of the kids that wasn't sure if my love for music was because it was in my family or whether it was a real and true passion of mine. So I was doing something else in Milan, and I did come back for music. I thought it would be an interesting market to do that in, and since my father saw that I was really interested, in 2013, I don't know if you know, but Universal Music bought EMI. And at that point, they were divesting assets all over the world because, in many of the markets, their market share was going to be way more than 50%, which wasn't.
They became like the biggest in the world in some territories.
And the European Union wasn't going to allow that. So it was a very nice opportunity for us to buy our company back. We discussed it with my father, and at 28 years old, I became the managing director of this company.
Here's a question. You're more passionate about running the company or about music?
At the moment, so 9 years later, I think about running the company.
Because if not, you
That was
probably have a very nice record, right?
Yeah. But that wasn't going to be my answer back then. Back
No,
then, I
no,
would have said music.
I understand completely. Wait, so at what age did you go from Greece to Switzerland?
I was 10 years old.
So you came as a Greek. How impactful do you think it is to live in different countries and to come as a kid, as an immigrant? How much of an impact does it give you as a boost, self-esteem?
Uh, from my experience, it's a huge boost. It's a huge boost. It wasn't something that I was happy with when it happened to me, and you don't know how many times I've apologized to my father for not being supportive in that first year abroad. I was always, moping around, but I think it's the best thing that could have happened to me because I feel that I can understand many different cultures. I've seen so many different things, and it has broadened my thinking, my horizons, and I consider the whole world, um, you know, my oyster in
How
a
many
way.
languages do you speak?
Technically five. Some of them are sleeping right now because I haven't
Oh,
used them. But growing up in Switzerland with four official languages, you learn most of them.
no, no. When I grew up, my parents would speak Turkish between themselves. My
Okay.
mom would speak French to my grandparents. My dad would speak in Ladino, which is a variation of Jewish Spanish.
Okay.
Um, and I learned French at school as well, and then I have Hebrew and English.
So how
But
many
there's
do you
always
speak?
one language that's dormant.
How many do you speak? So is that six now?
I'll go with five. Basically, it's four, and we cheat a little bit.
Okay.
But they say that the more intelligent a person is, the more languages they can speak and absorb. So I
Mm,
learned that I'm not very intelligent because at five I forget the first one.
yes, I'm with you.
I don't think I can do the sixth one.
Although I'm very passionate about languages, I really want to learn more. For example, it's something on my list for when I'm 50 years old or 60 years old and less busy. But
That sounds like a very, very good entrepreneurial excuse. When I will be less busy. I know that style. I have that. A lot of
well,
EO members have that style.
well, and
By the way, the reason why I was asking about languages and moving abroad and stuff like that is a lot of EO members, but I think also a lot of managers who relocate have that fear, right, of what's going to happen with the kids. They won't like it, how they're going to adapt. But I'm noticing that the more people I interview, they make them more tenacious. Like they fight harder.
Mm.
They came in, they had more to prove, they had to adapt, they're more resilient, they're more agile. There's a lot of things that go into that fear of moving. And yes, in some cases, the kids might hate you at the beginning.
Hmm. But for a little bit, so I think it's worth it. And I'm speaking from experience.
So, would you what did you study in the U.S.?
I studied economic sociology at Brown University,
Wow,
also one of the best experiences of my life.
what happened to music all those years then? Economics,
It was,
U.S. and stuff.
I the biggest university in music was actually my father,
Hmm.
because I would always, you can't really learn the music business in university. It doesn't work like that. It's not a subject that you can learn, honestly. Um,
Really?
so, and my father, I used to want to buy some books. Like, there's so many books about how to be a great manager in the music business, things like that. And he would always tell me, those are not very useful. But maybe that's because, I mean, he was a very high level executive at Universal Music. So he had so much experience in every type of situation that you could be in. And I was always very interested. So I always asked him so many things about it. So in casual conversations every day, he would tell me about, I did this today because the strategy is this, and how to set up a greenfield operation in Romania. Oh, this is how you do it. Or, so I think the best school that I had was growing up with my father. From then on, my education, in the United States, the education is not about a single subject. I mean, I do have a BA in something, but I don't think that's what was important. Um, they just teach you how to think. I think that's what they do. They teach you how to think efficiently and productively, and how
I-
to get
I'm
the best
asking. I'm
out of it.
asking. I'll ask you a personal question. I hope it's okay.
Okay?
Is your father still alive?
Yes, he's still alive.
Ah, okay. You were talking. I used to, so I wanted to ask. Have you ever brought him to talk to your chapter about all these things? Because it sounds amazing.
Actually, no.
Wow. When
But
when do you get the chance to talk to an executive from Universal that
hi,
did so many things in that industry, that sold the business, that reacquired it? Hell, I'll interview him.
noted.
Yeah, let's like bring him to the chapter. It sounds mind blowing.
Thank you. I feel very proud.
Yeah,
Here.
these are not like I'm listening to you, and I'm like I would love to hear what he has to say, and I'm
Yeah,
interested, and I can feel the passion coming through you, and now I understand kind of like the connection. What
yeah.
was the music you would listen to at home? Was it Greek?
Um, it was everything. It was everything because I also used to listen to the first demos of people who would later become huge superstars. Not just for Greek music, but I mean, I was in Milan at the time, and he brought me Lady Gaga before she was anything. She was just somebody
What
who had
what did
dreams.
you think? What did you think the first time he was like, "This is gonna be the next star," and you were like,
Always.
"Always."
I always used to do that. But I think that's being a child. I don't know. It
But how can
wasn't
you?
real. I was always like, oh, dad has brought another thing.
Yeah, but how do you know? So you've been doing this for a while now in the music industry. So how do you know? How do you spot a talent? How do you say, you know what, we'll take a chance on that? How do you make that decision? Is it a gut feeling, a mind one?
Um, so how I do it and how I was kind of taught to do it is to look out for a special voice. So, for example, a voice that doesn't sound like anybody else. You know what I mean? So it didn't have to be absolutely the most correct. voice ever, but it has to have passion. It has to have, that it transports you somewhere when the
So it's
person
a
when the
feeling thing.
person performs. Yeah,
It's a feeling.
definitely, it's a feeling. It's a feeling, and also that the person is able and willing to be passionate and promote and produce more and more music because it happens that some artists want to be in the spotlight but don't want to do the work for it. That's something that's a misunderstanding in our business, that it's not real work,
Hmm.
and actually it's really hard work. So I
I
do
would
this for
assume
them.
that a lot of it is actually behind the scenes. It's writing, recording, doing the interviews. Like,
So much. There's so much work to do, especially if you're in the beginning. And you don't really get paid for it in the beginning. So it's an investment in time,
uh,
and
hey, listen,
not just for us. I mean, for the artist.
yeah, no, I understand completely. I think in 2018, I gave 50 talks for free just to kickstart my business.
There you go.
But
There you go.
people are
Exactly.
like, would you like to come? Sure, yeah. When I'm coming, yeah. And I would never even ask them if they will pay or not. I said yes, and it took years to build this, and I still do it. And
Yes.
sometimes it's still things I need to practice. And sometimes I know this week I had a very bad one, like I screwed up,
Okay.
and then you keep going, right?
You keep
Like, so I think that's a good thing. But basically, you're dealing with finding talent,
going.
which is usually not easy people to handle.
Yes.
It's a long-term project. You invest everything. At the moment where you're saying, well, they have a good voice, they have this, but what did we do? Or how do you deal with failure after like their
Mhm.
first album launches, right? And like,
Mhm.
then what?
Well, after the first album launch, I don't necessarily consider it a failure, even if it hasn't gone as well as we would have hoped. It usually takes about 3 albums worth of music for an artist to really break. Um, this has changed a little bit because of the different types of consumption of music now. So that used to be so in an album oriented era, which we are not in right now. It's more of a singles based um, procedure now. But we do still have to release quite a bit of music for our artists to make it. We can't expect 1 or 2 songs to that would be enough for them to make it. It would be amazing. It does happen, but it's not what usually happens.
By the
um,
way, history-wise, this is a very what you're saying is very interesting. I remember seeing documentaries about Elvis. He would go in, record something, they put it on a vinyl, done, hit. And
yeah,
then they went started shifting towards like albums, and the art became a story around the whole album. And
right.
then they just did a very good podcast series about David Bowie and how
Okay.
long his success took. Like people didn't get it, another album, another thing. He's traveling, he's doing, but it's not going.
Yeah,
Nothing's happening, and it took
yeah,
him years until he blew up to become David Bowie. And basically, what you're saying now is we're going back to that model of here's one hit.
yes. And hopefully here's another, and here's another, and that's how you build a career, basically. I always tell everybody that they should be very, very patient. They have to be patient and they have to persevere. I do. I mean, on my side for them, I'm patient. I don't drop them if it hasn't worked out. I mean, after a while, and I do end relationships with artists, but usually it's because can't find the fire in them. They're not working as hard as we are
But
to
is it hard to
make
fire?
it.
Because you're not firing an employee, you're firing a product. You're firing like a concept.
Hmm.
It's like shutting down a project.
Yes, it is. It is. And you do the P&L and L and you see what happened while that project was running.
So what, you call them? You call them to your office. You have this big desk, and you say, "Hey, it's not me, it's you."
I don't. Usually, they are already quite upset themselves. And of course, it's not them.
Never them.
So usually it's quite amicable because they also don't see the point of staying with you, but they don't realize that it's kind of on them. But it's
You-
okay because I never play that game. I mean, I even with employees, when firing employees, I never tell them, you're not good enough for us. Please leave. I don't necessarily want to get on top of it. I mean, this is what it is. It's fine. Let's
Yeah.
just all move on. We're not good for each other.
There's
And
a. I
that's,
have a two-piece question for you.
mhm.
Um, do you have a case where you met someone, you said, "I don't think I'll make it," and there was a miss? And secondly, did you have someone you dropped and then became big?
The second, no, no. Uh, the other thing is that I've extended. I mean, I've sent proposals to artists that I really believed in, who probably didn't believe enough in themselves, and they also never made it. That actually makes me sadder than the second, because it's really hard to find somebody to believe in. It's not that easy. I mean, so many people like to sing. You won't believe how many demos we get from everybody and their mother and their cat. Everybody loves singing, and I really like that. Music is wonderful. It should be in everybody's life, but not necessarily on a professional level. Um, so when I do find someone that I really think I could work with, that we can think of amazing, marketing strategies, and that they could really fill a void in the market. What they're doing is very interesting. And when they don't, they're not brave enough to jump at the opportunity and, say, okay, let's see what happens. That makes me
Yeah.
sad. It makes me very sad.
So reality TV has helped your business in a way or hurt it?
Hmm. I would
Tough
say,
one, huh? Tough question.
yes, because I would say it's kind of neutral. The only way that it may have hurt it is because it's not really about the music industry. It's a TV product, so it's not necessarily what we would look for. You know, the way that the artists get picked.
Yeah, but so they win, they
Yeah,
become a talent, and on the
yeah,
other side, everybody thinks they can sing and they send you a demo, no? Like,
yeah. But you know, in Greece, I don't know how it is in Israel or other countries that you may have visited, but in Greece, most of the winners, if not 99% of them, are not in the music industry.
really?
Yes, they're not. They don't become famous. They don't become, yes, because it's
Well,
a,
I
because
think
it's
in
yeah.
Israel now, one of the singing talent shows, I think at least one or two of the judges
Hmm.
are winners from the first and second season
Oh,
of
seriously?
like they have huge careers.
Oh,
Some of them
wow.
have done global. Um, by the way, I remember many years ago I was writing my first novel, and I would sit every day. I didn't have any money. I would sit the same day, every day, same place, same seat in the same coffee shop. And a friend of mine there, he would give me I would give them business advice for marketing, and they would give me a coffee and a small sandwich. That was the deal every day. And I can't believe I did that for free for so long. And I would sit there every day. And they had a waitress, and she was very beautiful, very nice. And she said, I'm going to be a famous singer. And I said, good for you.
Hmm.
Let me know when you're. And 2 or 3 years ago, she became huge, like concerts in Europe, stuff like that. They have a band, they're very successful. I'll send you a link later.
That's the kind of passion I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So you know
And
what I mean?
she was determined. Like, I never heard her sing, but the way she said it, I was, good
Yeah,
luck.
yeah, exactly. That's great. And if she can follow through, and she obviously did, because it's a different thing saying it and then actually, doing it. But it looks like she had it in her.
I think you like the
Go
music.
all
Maybe
the
you've
way.
even heard some of it. But I think same as any entrepreneurship, right? Like you make a decision, you will succeed. Now let's figure out how we're going to succeed in a very tough business in a crowded market. And how easy is it in Greece to reach someone like you? Let's say I have a good demo. Is it easy to find you?
I think so, yes. First of all, there is an email address where people send their demos. Um, that is if they don't know anybody who can reach me directly. And we listen to all of them every day. So it's not, just some email address that we have on the side, nobody ever listens to it. No, no, we listen to all of the demos. And otherwise, I also get recommendations. So people who know me in the music industry or in the media, in the press, um, they often recommend new talent that they've seen somewhere or that, has come directly in contact with them. So it's quite easy. It's not so easy to, be accepted because we're not a, like a supermarket of artists. We take our time. We work on our projects with intensity. uh, and that's what I want our legacy to be, that we've.
I would love to have you come to Tel Aviv, and I'll take you to some indie bars and stuff that you can listen to interesting thing. And I'm very
I'd love
different to
that.
see. So yeah, let's set it up. I think it would be
Yeah,
amazing to take you out and show you
perfect.
some stuff. And I think you'll find some indie music, some in English, and who knows.
Yeah.
And but you do that. You still go out, like you still go to small bars and listen to singers, or is that doesn't happen anymore?
This is a difficult question considering we had 2 years of COVID restrictions. I hope to be able to do that again. I mean, it's already starting. Um, but yeah, I like doing that. I love doing that, actually. I love doing that. There's not so many at the moment, there's not so many establishments that give room to totally unknown independent acts. That had stopped for a while here in Athens, but hopefully it will pick up again because I can see that there's, everybody is now thirsty for excitement and fun, and our business is picking up again, also in the live part of it. So hopefully, we'll be able to go to many such establishments and see new talent. That's the funnest part of the job.
I started my business as a solopreneur. I still
Mhm.
run it alone, even though my brother-in-law is managing the agency that we have
Mhm.
for the last few years. So I would like to one day call it a family business. I'm not sure if he'll agree with that, but I wanted to ask you: did you get the chance to work with your grandfather in the business, or it was different times?
Unfortunately, no. He passed away 1 year before I was born. But ever since we bought the company back, I do feel his presence. First of all, I'm in his office. So we haven't changed location since he was here with us. And people still talk to me about him. He has left such a great mark. I'm actually quite jealous that I didn't get to meet him the way people speak about him.
And today, and your father still is in the business?
My father isn't in the business, which is why we were able to buy our company back.
Explain.
It would have been a conflict of interest had he still been with Universal Music. So he decided it was good timing because he decided to step back and enjoy his life. And I could then, start my own path.
So in a sense, I would call this a family business, but would you define it as a family business?
Yes, I would define it as a family business. For us, yes.
Yeah, because everybody's
Yeah.
been around the business. It's very interesting. You have any other family members today involved?
They're not involved. I do have a brother, but he didn't pick this path.
What does he do?
He directs, actually. It's still creative, but in another medium.
Yeah, so and he doesn't do the video clips for you guys?
I've asked him. I want him to. He doesn't want to. He wants to do other things.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
He has other dreams.
Do you think creativity is something that runs in your family then?
I wish I were creative. I don't think I am creative. I think I can spot a good idea. I can spot creative people. Maybe because it's something I wish I had. So that's what I think. Other people say I'm creative. I don't think so. But my
Would you think
brother is
that this
immensely creative.
this spotting of talent, do you think that also helps you in personal life and being a good judge of character?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it does. I think I'm a very good judge of character. And, my friends tell me so as well when they come looking for advice.
Is that like a thing? You'll meet someone, you say, no, don't date him. Don't date him.
I do have a feeling. I do have a feeling about people. I don't think it's a feeling necessarily. I think it has to do, with facial expressions and with, how like FBI profiling style. Don't you think so? Don't you do that? Do you
I
have that?
do. I know my sister is an amazing judge of character.
Mm,
She'll hit the mark 90% of the time. She could meet someone, say, I'll bring in a date to my parents' house, and she'll be like, no, no, we're not gonna date her. 90% of the time, she's correct.
yeah.
Like
Good for
she
her.
knows immediately, which is interesting. I think, yeah, I first trust people.
Mm. But that doesn't have to change.
I don't
I
think I
mean, you
would
can always
change.
begin with trust. You trust people, and
I
then you
think,
just, look at them more. You dive into them, and
I think
then,
I think the trust creates some sort of a interesting mask over the gut feeling sometimes.
mm, okay.
You know you're wrong, but you will convince yourself you're not.
Ah,
And then afterwards you say, but you knew. So it's kind of like that, like you knew. So I do want to go with that gut feeling, but I noticed that I'm very comfortable with making a mistake and saying, maybe this is what I thought, but it's not, and they're amazing or they're interesting. Or because if not, you might, I don't know, you might skip good people
yeah.
along
You
the
don't want
way.
to be prejudiced.
Yeah, because you don't know. And I think as a young person, I made mistakes over the years. I
Mm.
didn't figure it out or I didn't give them enough. And now doing this is much easier.
I think
Worst
it's
cases,
admirable. I think it's admirable because you're open to making mistakes like that. If it doesn't hurt you, That's
Yeah,
wonderful.
I think, interestingly enough, being around creative people sometimes is also having that mask. They behave a certain way, but they are different.
Mm.
So I think you're also seeing different types of people, right? There's probably then when they go on stage and how they behave afterwards in meetings, and how they are in a coffee shop, right?
Yes, yes. You're absolutely right. That's how they are. They're very different.
How do you deal with them changing, with being, I don't know, more known, more money, less grounded?
Um, I've seen it happen almost every single time. So we actually do have, I don't know if I should say this, but in the office, when we sign a new act, we take bets on how many years will pass, and what level of fame the person needs to have before they change, before the switch. Because it always happens, almost 95% of the time. And it has to do, I believe, with how their parents helped them, be grounded when they were growing up. You see that the really grounded ones, I've met some parents, and you can tell from the parents. You can tell if a person is going to be okay with fame and with money.
It sounds funny. It's like, oh, you want to have a punk rock album? No problem. We want to meet your parents. And it's kind of like
How
that.
about
By
with
the
your
way,
parents?
here's an idea. Here's an idea. Maybe you'd like to use that. Ask them to record a message to themselves when they become shit. Like when they start behaving differently. Record now before fame, before
Yeah,
your album is out. Talk to yourself to remind yourself where you were and what you might become.
that is an amazing idea, and I will do it immediately.
It'd be
That's really
interesting.
fun. And then I can play it for them. Actually, I should have it. I
Yeah,
should,
yeah. No, no. You save it and you say, hey, it's like a personal intervention.
right. It's like, hey,
Wow,
dude, listen.
that's good.
Listen to yourself. You
Yeah,
won't listen to me. Listen to yourself.
yeah.
That's
Remember this
amazing.
person, and you're like, sit down. It's time for your own personal intervention, and you can try and see what happens. So it's been, yeah, wow. Now
But
I'm
you know
really looking
where,
forward to
but you
meeting
know
some of
where,
your celebrities.
yeah, yeah. If you come here, I will take you out.
I'll definitely come. That's. Uh, I'll give it a call to the chapter and let them know we're coming, and let's make
Great.
a party. Let's have a good event.
Absolutely.
It's been wait. So, as we're wrapping up, and
Mhm.
first of all, I thank you. If I didn't have to do the checkout and go to the airport, I would stay here for 2 more hours. Thank you.
Thank
I'm,
you,
I'm
dear.
really, I'm really enjoying this. But I want to ask you, for young people, young entrepreneurs, students, managers, people who are listening, not necessarily building a huge business, but kind of like a tip, something they can take away, something you've learned along the way that you can share with them and leave with us.
Sure. I think it's very, very important to, what has helped me has been my belief in that what I had in mind to do was the right thing for me and for the business, the way that I envisaged the future of it. And I've been very steadfast. I haven't really diverged from that path, even though it's really difficult not to diverge, because things happen. There's competitors. I'm not alone. They do things that are not the way that I would like to do things. And sometimes, you have even your own team coming to you saying, yeah, but look, they're doing that, and look how it's going, and da da da. And it's difficult trying to explain that we're in it for the long game. That I want to I'm the third generation, and I want to hand this company over to my children and their children. And that's a different strategy
You
than
think your kids will take over?
we're actually we've been discussing this with my husband, who also is an entrepreneur. He also has his own business, and so basically they would be able to choose. And we have started discussing how we shouldn't in any way push such an agenda. But I
So no,
think
no one's pushing,
no
but
one's
Sunday breakfast, someone might say something.
no, but
Mommy's business is cooler, kids. So,
yeah, right. Hey, you want to go to the show? Isn't this fun?
because you can do this for the rest of your life. Yeah, it's different.
Exactly. But I would feel very good to be able to provide such an option.
Definitely.
They don't have to, but if they want to, that would be great, and I would be here to help, hopefully. And yeah,
I, I think it's very cool. Anna, I want to say a huge thank you. I'm very happy we got the
I
chance to do
thank you.
this.
I thank
Um,
you, Mary.
and as we're wrapping up, another EOpreneur podcast is done. Thank you guys. As always, feel free. Follow us here on YouTube. You can follow us on Spotify, wherever you want. And if you have any questions, you're always welcome to email me or any one of my guests. Go to eoeurope.com to learn a little bit more about the organization and why it's amazing and all these amazing people around. And thank you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.